everyone, I'm Maki. In today's program, we will not discuss any spoilers related to the movie's story. Like yesterday's program, we will talk about the novel that is being distributed as a special bonus. At the movie Gundam Seed Freedom, a short novel of about 22 pages is distributed as a bonus when entering the cinema. These works depict events that occurred before the story portrayed in the movie. Additionally, the distribution package is labeled First Week Entrance Attendee Gift. Perhaps similar prizes will continue to be distributed in the future. If novels are distributed in the same way, I intend to try to obtain them as a way of showing support for the work. Today, we will discuss the content revealed in the novel titled The Element of Cagalli and Athrun. In the last program, we discussed Valkyria in the Moonlight, which focused on Agnes Guinness. It is unclear whether these novels will be translated and distributed outside Japan. If you want to get your hands on the novel at the cinema and read it yourself, it might be better to skip today's program. Now, let's delve into the story. Athrun worked for the secret organization Terminal. He visited Orb to submit data he had acquired during a mission. It was Cagalli who had called for Athrun. Athrun was to meet Cagalli at a humble shop in the lower town. For Athrun, who had lived an advanced life in the plants, it took courage to enter such a modest establishment. When Athrun entered, he was warmly welcomed by a lively clerk and shown to a seat. Looking over the menu, Athrun was perplexed by names of foods he had never seen before, such as monjoloki and modanyaki. The menu also featured a dish named Hami, a love of egg. Hami is the name of a god in Norse mythology, and the Hami as protection stone Athrun received from Cagalli symbolized praying to the god for the safety of a loved one. Athrun wondered, is it really okay to cook and eat a god in lover? Unable to understand the menu, Athrun decided to leave the ordering to Cagalli. He pondered over why Cagalli had specifically requested a face-to-face meeting. What significance could there be in meeting directly and passing the data in person rather than using communication? Athrun, dedicated to his mission, struggled as he tried to calmly analyze the situation. The data Athrun obtained was a research report on conflict zones in the southern region of Eurasia. It detailed the impacts of a nation called the Foundation gaining independence from the Eurasian Federation. The independence of the Foundation, formerly a member of the Eurasian Federation, had triggered a trend of intensified independence movements in areas other than the Foundation. This situation is internationally referred to as the Foundation Shock. Additionally, Athrun speculated that remnants of the extremist group Blue Cosmos might be hiding in the southern part of Eurasia. Cagalli appears before seriously pondering Athrun. She joins Athrun, dressed like an ordinary young person. When Athrun leaves the food ordering to Cagalli, she orders unfamiliar dishes to him: monjoloki, modanyaki, and ryugunomai alduri. For drinks, she orders Otohime no First Love soda. Athrun orders regular tea. Cagalli shares that she called Athrun to this restaurant for a bit of a break. Athrun wonders whether he should feel disappointed for being called out just for a break, or honored for being chosen as someone to spend private time with. However, he soon embraces the feeling of being honored. While having a meal, Cagalli receives a disc containing the report data from Athrun. She asks Athrun seriously, is the new leader of Blue Cosmos, Maki, indeed hiding in the southern part of Eurasia? Athrun explains that the likely location is the military buffer zone between Eurasia and the Foundation. The Foundation, having declared independence from Eurasia, is internationally recognized as an independent nation. However, their relationship with Eurasia is strained, resulting in a tense standoff across the military buffer zone. Cagalli tells Athrun that the Foundation has proposed a joint operation. Cagalli, supporting Compass accepting the Foundation's proposal, might lead to inadvertently provoking the Eurasian Federation. Athrun asks, does the Foundation wish to join Compass? Cagalli replies, at this stage, we cannot accept the Foundation's proposal. The Foundation achieved independence from the Eurasian Federation at an extremely fast pace and is also experiencing rapid economic growth. Cagalli views this situation with suspicion, considering the Foundation a nation shrouded in mystery. Maki, the new leader of Blue Cosmos, is a high-priority target for Compass. Cagalli is skeptical about the timing of their proposal to apprehend Maki, finding it too convenient. Although Cagalli appears troubled and thoughtful, she says, I came here today to take a break, and resumes her meal. Recently, Cagalli's life had been limited to shuttling between her home and government agencies, leaving her very tired. She shares how even accidentally dropping a pen would cause about 20 people to turn and pay attention. While she understands her position and is grateful to those working for her, she admits it's exhausting. Athrun looks at Cagalli and reflects. He sees the determined efforts of Cagalli, a leader sheltering her country, especially during the challenging post-war period. He contemplates how she is striving for her nation's reconstruction, while maintaining a delicate balance in a world edging back towards war. Cagalli says with a smile, today is a complete day, also I didn't bring any escorts, and encourages Athrun to enjoy the meal. Cagalli asks Athrun how's your war going. Athrun almost mentions Mayrin's name, but quickly stops himself. He thought it wouldn't be appropriate to bring up Mayrin's name while dining alone with Cagalli. Cagalli, seemingly unconcerned, asks is something wrong with Mayrin? Athrun replies, Mayrin is fine. She is very energetic, giving an awkward response. He regrets making the conversation unnatural due to his unnecessary consideration. Athrun then asks Cagalli, do you communicate with Kira? Cagalli shares that she contacts Laos more often than Kira. Laos enjoys cooking and tends to make more than necessary. Even though she lives with Kira, she ends up filling the table with more food than they can eat. Consequently, Laos's cooking is used as treats for campus staff and members and is very well received. Recalling the poor quality of military meals, Athrun talks with Cagalli about it. They fondly remember the unpalatable rations they ate on the deserted island where they first met. They joke about how eating the crab they found in the sea might have been bitter and laugh together. Athrun feels that spending time in casual conversation is precious. While enjoying their time, a loud crash suddenly echoes inside the restaurant. Athrun instinctively moves to protect Cagalli. However, the other patrons act even faster. They quickly surround Cagalli with makeshift shields, holding guns with stern expressions, ready to protect her. The restaurant staff also readies a large shotgun, securing the entrance. While Athrun and Cagalli are still in shock, a voice from a communication device fills the restaurant. A civilian car has been involved in a collision on the road. Emergency services have been notified. The patrons promptly stand down from their lot stands and return to their original places. The atmosphere in the restaurant quickly goes back to normal, filled with the lively chatter of the patrons. To an outsider, the scene would seem extraordinary and natural. The staff, who were disguised as guards, offered food to Cagalli in a manner feigning to be ordinary people. Cagalli gets angry and says this is exactly why I don't want such measures. The guards, confused, try to calm Cagalli down. Athrun understands both the guards' perspective and Cagalli's anger. Cagalli just wanted a brief moment to relax like ordinary people. She felt deceived, as if all her time is a lie, despite the measures being for her protection. Athrun intervenes between the arguing Cagalli, and her guards grabs her hand and runs. He humorously thinks to himself that running with the nation's leader, pursued by her guards, makes him look like a terrorist. However, Athrun is slightly angered by the realization that Cagalli is treated more as a heavily guarded object than a respected human being. If Cagalli wishes for a break, Athrun decides he wants to be the one to grant that wish. The guards, numerous in number, believe they can quickly secure Cagalli. However, the security chief addresses his subordinates. You don't know who he is. He's Alex Dino, and his real name is Athrun Zar. He is a skilled protector who guarded Cagalli before us. Athrun and Cagalli find themselves cornered in a dead end. However, Athrun carries Cagalli and uses a slight protrusion on the wall to climb up it. Cagalli, amazed, says you just ran up a wall. Athrun and Cagalli manage to elude the guards and reach the sea. The scene shifts to Maramias receiving a report via a communicator. Love-Flavor approaches her asking, "What's happened?" Maru responds, "Cagalli is missing." To Moo's surprise, Maru adds, "She's with Athrun." Hearing this, Moo's expression turns amused. The report's content suggests a major incident with a national leader missing, but knowing Athrun is with her implies Cagalli is more of an accomplice than a victim. Maru assures the security staff if she's with Athrun Zar, she's absolutely safe. Moo teases Maru, is she really safe? Maru glances at Moo with a light glare. Athrun watches Cagalli walking along the beach. He tells her if there's anywhere you want to go, I'll be your guard. However, Cagalli smiles and replies, I'm satisfied. Cagalli surprises Athrun by saying, I leave the investigation to you, and walks towards the road. There, a car with security staff is waiting for her. The guards, upon spotting Athrun, nod slightly before getting into the car with Cagalli. Athrun jokes, looks like I won't be arrested as a kidnapper, after all. Reflecting on the day spent with Cagalli, Athrun smiles. The novel ends with Athrun quietly murmuring, "Keep up the good work, representative." Many fans were concerned about the relationship between Athrun and Cagalli. In this bonus novel, it seems a satisfactory answer was provided to alleviate their worries. Additionally, the story revealed that Campus is tracking the new leader of Blue Cosmos. Who is this Mikhail? Athrun, whose job involves gathering information, and Cagalli suspicious of the Foundation's actions. Their endeavors will likely be portrayed in the movie as well. Let's meet again in the next program.